Sharper Point Commentary.
After telling you on Friday that I wasn't going to do another Sharper Point commentary on tariffs and then doing almost an entire commentary on tariffs, only changing the subject in the last few seconds, mentioning that I was headed to Prescott for the state gymnastics meet with my 9-year-old, I'm not going to make any promises today. But just so you know, my kid tied for 4th in the vault. It was her highest finish for any event at a meet, which she just got started attending this year. She was rewarded with whatever she wanted for dinner. Luckily, she chose the fine dining experience of breakfast for dinner at the Prescott Valley Denny's. I didn't argue with her, mainly because I had just taken a peek at my portfolio earlier in the weekend. After assessing my portion of the massive market losses we've had recently to the tune of, $6 trillion? Denny's sounded dandy. What can we, the little people, do to get our retirement savings to stop bleeding bucks? Not really anything. It's kind of like working with my kid on improving her performance on the beam. I've never been on a beam since, at least high school gym class. She fell yesterday. Otherwise, she would have done much better than her 11th place finish in beam. But all I can do is remind her to focus, something she may or may not listen to. And I don't think the White House is listening to the many Republican-aligned economists who are saying, this is not the way, to misquote the Mandalorian. Not only do they, and I primarily mean Donald Trump when I say they, seem to be holding their hands over their ears and saying, la, 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 when anybody has an idea other than across-the-board tariffs, they seem to be in denial that Americans are going to get really hurt before things get better, as ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers pointed out this morning.
Kevin Hassett, the National Economic Council director, over the weekend even pushed back on the idea that this is going to cost American consumers. He said, I don't think you're going to see a big effect on the consumer in the U.S. Other White House officials were saying that late last week. They're really downplaying or even disputing the idea that, every economist we're talking to is saying is that there will be price increases on Americans.
And the worst thing of all seems to be there feels like there's no sympathy for anybody feeling any pain, especially, I guess, if you're denying that there's going to be any pain at all. And, my generation, Gen X, was famous for saying, early on, hey, Social Security will never be there for me anyway. But we always thought that our retirement savings would be there for us. So what is it going to take to change the mind of those in the White House when it comes to these tariffs? Not complaints from us, but maybe complaints from Republicans. They've started to grow a little louder over the weekend, and ABC News political analyst Steve Roberts told us there was a noticeable grumbling in flyover farm country.
And you had someone like Don Bacon, who's a Republican from Nebraska, saying over the weekend, Nebraskans are free traders. And it's not just farmers, it's the shippers, it's the grain elevators, and it's all the local businesses.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul has described the tariffs as bad economic and political policy. Texas Senator Ted Cruz says he fears this is going to push the nation's economy into a recession. But will Trump even listen to them? He doesn't have another term he has to win, so wait, there is that third term idea that was out there. So maybe, I don't know.
Thanks for watching Sharper Point. Click to see more from Arizona's Morning News and tap the button in the middle to subscribe.